Welcome to the deep dive. We dive into the sources on, well, the really cutting edge stuff. Pull out what you need to know and deliver it fast.
Yeah.
Today, we're looking at this huge intersection point. It's where high-speed commerce meets conversational AI. We're talking about this new instant checkout idea and, honestly, how it could completely change how you buy things online using AI.
Yeah, exactly. And our sources are pretty clear. This all centers on something called the Agentic Commerce Protocol, or ACP. Big players involved here. OpenAI and Stripe developed it. And it's specifically built to power what they're calling ChatGPT direct-to-consumer commerce.
Okay, right. Let's dig into that. So our mission today, essentially, is to figure out how a simple conversation inside, say, ChatGPT, can now just become a secure purchase instantly. And, what does that actually mean for businesses? For us as consumers, it feels like a big shift. Okay, so the sources point to this kind of great discovery moment. The realization wasn't just that AI could find stuff for you, but that it could actually do stuff, complex things. And this agentic commerce protocol, the ACP, it lets you, your AI agent, and a business talk basically, and complete the purchase right there, like inside the chat window.
That part inside the chat, that's really the key here. It's the whole game. And instant checkout in ChatGPT. That's the first big product built on this ACP. It's already live, actually. You can try it out now, buying from certain US Etsy sellers directly in ChatGPT.
Which is amazing when you think about the usual checkout rate, right? Entering your card details again, clicking through 5 different pages.
Oh, totally. This just cuts through all that friction. Compared to, regular e-commerce, the big leap is the speed and the security. No clicking away to other links, no separate checkout pages loading. Pretty much, it's instant, it's direct, it's protected. And for you, the consumer, the benefits are pretty clear. ChatGPT sort of becomes this personal shopping assistant. It finds things, gives you trusted recommendations, supposedly fast ones, and then lets you buy it.
And it works wherever you are, like on your phone, on the web.
Sources say web, iOS, Android. Plus, it handles all the payment stuff behind the scenes, major cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, even Stripe's own link system.
So you don't even have to think about pulling out your wallet physically or digitally. A protocol just handles it.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. Seamless integration.
Okay, but hang on. OpenAI, Stripe, these aren't exactly companies known for open philanthropy. Why build this as an open standard? Apache 2.0 license, you said. That seems counterintuitive for platform giants.
Right. But I think they realized for this to really take off, merchants have to trust it. They have to want to adopt it. So making it an open standard was probably key. The sources break down the thinking behind the ACP into like 4 main pillars. Explains why they designed it this way.
Okay, what are they?
First, it has to be powerful, meaning it connects businesses straight to potentially millions of AI users. It's about building those direct customer relationships at scale.
Makes sense.
Second, easy to adopt. It needs to plug into the e-commerce systems businesses already use. You can't ask everyone to rebuild everything. Low friction for merchants too.
Right. Crucial for small businesses especially.
Third, flexible. It has to work with different payment processors, not just Stripe eventually, across platforms, different kinds of purchases, subscriptions, one-offs, different business models.
Okay. Powerful, easy, flexible. What's the last one?
And fourth, probably the most important for trust, secure. Got to protect payment data, meet compliance rules, and give merchants the signals they need to say yes or no to an order, fraud prevention, inventory checks, that kind of thing.
That security part leads to my next question, though.
Yeah.
If the transaction happens in ChatGPT, doesn't OpenAI kind of own the interaction? How does the local Etsy seller, for instance, keep that direct customer relationship? Are they just feeding the AI machine?
That's a really good point, and it's something the protocol seems designed to address directly. That open standard thing and this decentralized control idea are critical here. What's kind of fascinating, the sources emphasize the merchant keeps control. You, the customer, are buying directly from the merchant, not from OpenAI as some kind of marketplace.
So the money goes straight to the merchant.
Exactly. Payment flows directly to them. And crucially, the merchant decides, accept the order, decline it, based on their own checks. And they handle everything after the sale. Shipping, questions, returns, support. The ACP is just the pipe, the secure connection. The relationship stays with the business.
That is interesting. Decentralized control built into the protocol itself.
Seems like it. That's the pitch. Anyway.
Okay, so the tech makes sense. The value for merchants seems clear. Zero friction for customers, but the business keeps control.
Let's talk about getting started. How does a business actually enable this instant checkout?
Right, the practical steps. Currently, it's an application process. You apply to OpenAI, get approved. It's starting in the US. The sources lay out about 5 technical steps.
So 5 steps. Okay.
First couple are basic. Apply, obviously. Then you need to share a product feed. Think of it like a standardized menu. It tells ChatGPT what you sell, the price, stock levels, all that, in a way it understands. The feed spec defines the format.
Got it. A structured data feed. Then the technical build.
Yeah, step 3 is building the agentic checkout API. This means setting up specific web addresses, REST endpoints that OpenAI's system can talk to, and configuring webhooks. Webhooks, those are like automatic notifications, right?
Exactly. They instantly tell OpenAI if an order status changes on the merchant's end, like shipped or canceled, keeps everything in sync in real time. It's pretty important for the process.
Okay. API and webhooks, what's next?
Fourth, you need a payment provider that follows the delegated payment spec. Basically, your payment processor has to play by the ACP's security rules. Stripe's shared payment token is the first one mentioned that does this.
And the final step.
Certify with OpenAI, make sure all the connections work, it's secure, and then you can go live, move to production.
Yeah, that sounds like quite a bit of technical work, especially for a smaller shop. But you mentioned something that makes it easier.
Absolutely. There's a huge shortcut pointed out in the sources. If you're already selling on Etsy or Shopify, you're basically eligible now. You don't need to build any of this API stuff. Etsy and Shopify are doing that heavy lifting, building the integrations. So their merchants can potentially just jump straight into selling via ChatGPT much more easily.
Ah, okay. So the platforms handle the complex plumbing. That makes a huge difference for adoption.
Definitely. It lowers the barrier significantly.
That platform integration makes perfect sense. It bridges the gap between complex tech and, well, actual users. And this leads nicely into the more philosophical side mentioned in the sources, this idea of ChatGPT networking.
Yeah, it's not just about the protocol, the plumbing. It's about how people learn about it and use it. The sources talk about people like Mike Hayes, focusing on mixing this AI tech with, like, hyperlocal media and actual human connection. The goal seems to be leveling the playing field, helping smaller businesses use these advanced tools without getting overwhelmed, taking those 5 technical steps we just talked about and making them less scary.
How do they do that?
Seems to boil down to a couple of core ideas. One is keep it super simple, obvious but important. The other is this acronym, GUIDES: Growth, Unity, Innovation, Direction, Education, Systems. It's about framing AI not as this complex standalone tech thing, but as a tool that fits into familiar business growth concepts, a relational tool almost.
Making it relational. And I saw mentions of storytelling. How does that fit in?
It seems pretty central. They talk about narrative storytelling and even AI networking hospitality. The idea is to humanize commerce, build trust through stories and community. The aim is explicit: turn networking, relationship building into narrative commerce, where a good story doesn't just inform, it can directly lead to that instant transaction we talked about.
Wow, okay. So the story becomes the sales pitch and the checkout button, almost simultaneously.
Kind of, yeah. And this links back to that KISS idea, keeping it simple. Translating jargon like agentic commerce protocol into language anyone can grasp. They use things like simple scripts, printable cards, even audio demos formatted as little 3-act mini stories. It's all about making it approachable, building confidence.
And that approachability seems key. They mention a 2-speed learning path.
Right. They recognize not everyone needs or wants the full technical deep dive. So there's the deep dive track that's for the techies, the implementers, the people setting up those APIs and webhooks. But for most people, there's the quick start track. Short demos, simple actions, those audio stories. It's designed to give you that aha moment, oh, I see how this works, without needing to understand how it works underneath.
Get the value proposition immediately without the setup headache.
Exactly. Prove the value first, then maybe they explore the deeper stuff if needed. It's smart psychology for adopting something so new and potentially complex. Hashtag tag outro.
So putting it all together,
Yeah.
What's the big picture here? It feels like this agentic commerce protocol pushed by OpenAI and Stripe is really about embedding the point of sale directly into conversations, decentralizing it almost.
I think that's right. It's this convergence, powerful AI understanding what you want, the instant ability to transact securely, and then this layer of storytelling and human connection, making it feel natural.
Yes.
It creates a totally new model where the conversation is the storefront, but crucially, the merchant doesn't lose control. They still own that customer relationship.
That's quite a shift.
It really is. The sources had this tagline for a course on it, sums it up perfectly. If you can chat, you can sell. If you can tell a story, you can scale.
Simple, powerful, removes all the transactional steps, leads just the conversation, the story.
Pretty much all the friction just vanishes.
Okay, that definitely gives us something to think about. And it leaves you, our listener, with maybe this final thought to chew on. If your business's story, your narrative, is now the direct, immediate gateway to a sale, moving instantly from just information to action, how ready is your current marketing, your current story to actually do that? Something to consider. Until next time on The Deep Dive.